All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. How y'all doing today? It is Saturday, dog days of summer. It's hot up here in Connecticut, but we are heading up north. Going to be back up in the Adirondacks all next week, so we will be on location. You all know what that means. Slow upload speeds, delayed Song of the Day. That's just how it's going to be. But what are we talking about today? Today is an anniversary that I couldn't skip over, even though we covered this last year. This is going to happen here in the cave on occasion if it's important enough. And for many of you, this record is just that. So let's cut to it. 50 years ago today, The Who dropped Who's Next, their fifth studio album, and regarded pretty much as their best album, one of the best albums of all time by anybody, and also ranked as one of the best album covers of all time, if not the best. It's up there. I know there's plenty of Who non-fans out there. It takes a special person to appreciate The Who in some cases, although their music is all over the place. Their early mod stuff is totally different than their classic rock and roll, so there's plenty for everyone to check out if you go ahead and dig deep. But remember, speaking of mod, 1970, they pretty much were done with that mod scene. All the mod fans had started getting married and having kids, and they were not really doing that kind of music anymore, and this is when they moved over. They were doing some synthesizers and really just plain old rock and roll. This album started out as a follow-up to Tommy. It was going to be a science fiction rock opera called Lifehouse, famous or infamous in Who lore for all their fans as a project for Pete Townsend that would just dog him for decades. Never finished it, but all the songs on this project would eventually get released on other albums, but 8 of these 9 songs on this record were part of that project, the lone track being My Wife that was not part of it. But yeah, they were working on this very complicated rock opera follow-up that they just couldn't, and they didn't agree with the producer. It was a long story as far as that's concerned. So what about that album cover? The album cover is on a slag heap, which is mining waste material. I don't know where they got that idea from, but it was inspired by 2001 Space Odyssey, like so many things when that came out, Stanley Kubrick. And they had just urinated on this pylon, and that's what that enduring image is. I remember seeing that in the record store, just being, as a kid. Anyway. So this music on here, they started recording it April 9th, 1971. Happy birthday to my wife on that day, and so many more. We know a lot of people with that birthday. And they were recording in Mick Jagger's house. He had that famous Rolling Stones mobile, a mobile recording studio used by all kinds of artists, and then they started there and moved on to a different location to finish this record. But this record is, again, probably one of those perfect records. There isn't a weak track on here, and you just can't believe that these are the songs that are on here. You just have to buy this record if you were a Who fan, because it's got all the songs you want to fill in your collection. So you got the first track right out the gates, Baba O'Reilly, not Teenage Wasteland, but what a song that is. I think I remember the first time I ever heard this record. I do know the first time I ever heard this whole record, and that was in Rhode Island. I was at somebody's house. They were playing the actual record in high school. Chris Kennedy, I don't remember who, it was a friend of Chris Kennedy's, and sometimes stuff just sticks out at you, and I just remember hearing this record and being like, I think I like The Who, and that's how that started. Bargain, next track, awesome. Love Ain't for Keeping. My Wife, like we talked about, the song is over. Flip that record over. Getting in Tune, Going Mobile, Behind Blue Eyes. I mean, come on, how can you not like Behind Blue Eyes? And then Won't Get Fooled Again. what an album side that is. I'm sure when they did album sides on the radio, for those of you who remember that was one of the ones that they did for sure. And I think this song "Won't Get Fooled Again" was used. Is it by Kiss? I didn't look into this, but someone played when that song came on at the concert. You knew that when that scream happened and the curtain would drop. I'm pretty sure that was Kiss. Anyway, so how do you pick a song of the day for the Who? Who's next? I mean, these songs are all great, and I'm gonna have to go with "Won't Get Fooled Again," as we just talked about. That's just a good Saturday song, something to pick you up. That's a great song. So you're gonna listen to that, and you're gonna tell me your Who stories below. So, the Who, "Won't Get Fooled Again," 50 years old today. Have a good day, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.